Greetings! In this session, I will be discussing basic skills and educational attainment in relation to motivation to learn among U.S. workers. I am Takashi Yamashita. I'm a faculty member of Sociology Program and the Gerontology Program at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC. My co-authors are Phyllis Cummings from Miami University Scripps Gerontology Center, Rob Miller and Shalini Sahu from UMBC Hilltop Institute, and Tom Smith from Northern Illinois University. Objectives of these presentations are to enable participants to discuss the roles of literacy skills and educational attainment in the context of U.S. workers' motivation to learn, and to identify fundamental strategies to promote continuing adult education and training. Advancing science and technology will replace and/or automate existing jobs. The workers need to engage in continuing adult education and training or lifelong learning to stay competitive in the future labor markets. In other words, workers are expected to constantly upgrading their skills to stay employable. However, only about half of adults participate in lifelong learning in the US. A part of the issue is the lack of motivation to learn, which is the first step to engage in lifelong learning. In view of the widely used expectancy theory and the lifelong learning participation model, the motivation to learn can be intrinsic, such as joy of learning and intellectual curiosity, and extrinsic, such as career advancement. The motivation to learn, along with higher educational attainment, are not only associated with lifelong learning participation, but also with better education and training outcomes. What is missing in the literature is the association between motivation to learn and education, as well as the role of basic skills or literacy skills. Positive experience in educational activities are linked to greater motivation to learn, and the literacy skills are the foundational skills for lifelong learning, and it can be considered as part of the readiness to learn. Without sufficient literacy skills, it is unlikely that one is motivated to learn. Given this theoretical context, this study examined the association between motivation to learn, education, and the literacy skills. Data are obtained from 2012-2014 Program for International Assessment of Adult Competencies, also known as PIAC. We focused on the nationally representative samples of adults aged 25 to 65 in the US. The motivation to learn was measured as Layton construct with 4 survey items. Independent variables are a dichotomous variable of college education versus less than college education. Also, literacy skills proficiency, which is recorded in 0 to 500 points. We estimated the structural equation model with the Layton motivation to learn construct. First, we examined the measurement model. Then, we added the education, literacy, and other covariates to the model. Results showed that Layton motivation to learn construct is a valid measure among adults aged 25 to 65. Both education and the literacy skills are positively associated with motivation to learn. In other words, the greater educational attainment and the literacy skills were linked to higher motivation to learn. This study made 2 important contributions. First, our analysis provided the validity evidence for the Layton motivation to learn construct for this particular subpopulation of typical working-age adults. Second, our study added empirical evidence to connect education and literacy with motivation to learn. Literacy education and training would not only benefit motivation to learn, but also social, political, and cultural participation. Although future research needs to develop theoretical explanations and verify the findings with more diverse data with alternative methodological approaches, it is a wise investment to incorporate education and literacy into education, and labor policy discussions. In conclusion, educational attainment and literacy skills are important to promote motivation to learn, and in turn to improve adult education and training among the U.S. workforce in the time of job automation and the dynamic labor market. This study was partially supported by Institute of Education Sciences, U.S. Department of Education, through grant to Miami University and the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The opinions expressed are those of the authors and do not represent views of the Institute or U.S. Department of Education. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your attention.